Alright, hey, so this is my service learning video for 2018. As you can tell, it's directed by me, produced by me, written by me, and also starring me. Now, I worked at the NNLC for 8 weeks, 20 hours, you know, the usual. And the NNLC is the Northern Nevada Literacy Council. And basically what they aim to do is they aim to have adults who don't have diplomas achieve a GED similar test and like ranking, so they basically get their high school equivalent. So I was expecting to teach high schoolers in that age range, you know. Obviously I was expecting kids that weren't necessarily attending high school or were doing too great in high school, so most likely English learning students that have it as their second language. But I ended up teaching adults this side rather than this side, and that was fine. Very unexpected, but certainly fine. And was more unexpected was that I taught math, and my major is political science, and I wanted to teach government, but they were like, hey, we have an opening in math. And I was like, all right, like, let's do this. I'm not bad at math, but here are some things that I learned in my service learning experience. My number one thing, you have to try. You really have to try. Like, if you want to get anything out of this, you really ought to just put yourself out there and simply try to experience all things that teachers and tutors go through. So, for example, just like if you see someone struggling with math, or they're just doing math on their own, or whatever assignment on their own, just drop by and see like, hey, how's it going? Like, do you need any help? Because otherwise they're not coming to you. They're really not. Like, they might come to the teacher, but in a service learning experience, they're not going to you, the college student, because they feel just like normal people do, that they've got it, and if they don't got it, they'll get it at some point. So you gotta try. Second of all, you have to guide them, not supply them. In that I mean, when you're teaching them how to do something, you gotta know that you're guiding them to the answer rather than actually giving them the answer. Because if you just give them the answer, they don't really understand what's going on in the subject matter you're teaching. But if you like guide them to it, it makes them build their own bridges and their own connections into getting to that point, getting to the answer, and finally succeeding in a subject they were faltering in. And my third point was be patient. Now, I didn't struggle with this personally because I have just, I don't know, tons of patience, apparently. But I identified while I was working that you need patience above most other things, because these people, they're learning just like normal high school students, but I think it's a little more difficult to teach grown adults rather than high school students, because their brains are already set. Like, they're not molding clay anymore. They're already hardened like ceramic stuff. So it's hard to have this information imported into their brains and then have them regurgitate it over and over and have them know it. So I thought that was one of the more difficult parts of teaching at the NNLC rather than some high school. So with them, you definitely need patience above all things, because it's not going to be their first time that they get it, like just normally, like normal like high school students, but they will get it at some. Now, overall, this experience was good. I would say it could be considered great, but personally, I think it was just good. And no, there's nothing wrong with good. But with that being said, I would recommend it. And don't forget, this was directed by me, produced by me, written by me, and of course starring me.